So bit of background on me. So I've been kind of over 20 years in IT, in technology, in banks and financial services. And over the years, I have kind of inherited budget management, really, because nobody else wanted to do it. And I suppose the thing I always find funny is people complain about IT for using terminology that nobody understands and nobody gets, right? When in reality, it's finance. It's the acronyms, the esoteric world of finance, and the fact, I suppose, that finance departments by and large are populated with accountants who've had extensive training in this. There's a certain assumption around others' ability to communicate in that language. As I moved through my career to the point I'm at now, I suppose, as head of a function within IT, I realized that there is a gap in understanding in terms of how we present business cases and how we do analysis for investments and particularly things that we need to spend money on within IT, and how we can link those back into the strategy of the bank and making sure that, you know, we as an organization continue to be profitable and these are the right places to invest and to spend money. So I suppose that was the driver for looking at business finance as a program. I suppose in the interest of full disclosure, this is my third diploma in the IMI. So shortly after completing this about a year ago, I then finished my master's. Having done two previous programs, I was kind of thinking long and hard about what to take on, really, right? I figured, you know, I have two down, I might as well go for the three. But what was really important to me, there's no point in going through an exercise like this without value. And finance is definitely something that I think, regardless of where you work or what you're working in, is a really important concept to get and learning to have. So I think having looked at the program in detail, I suppose I took it on, and it definitely didn't disappoint. I am a fan of the way that the IMI approaches learning. You know, we spoke about the HIT process. I think it works really well. I think the IMI get and understand the needs of professionals, and they understand the needs to balance, you know, the academic side with the practical real world side of learning, and also the demands on professionals in terms of work and all those kind of things, right? And so I think the balance works really, really well. A few things kind of stood out for me over the course of the program. I think as Cormac has mentioned, the terminology, EBIT, EBITDA, ROE, ROI, all these kind of acronyms gained clarity, so that you can think of the concept and not just the acronym and try and remember the formula. It's the clarity around what that actually means. I think the need to reflect is really important when it comes to these kind of things. So if you space out each module by a month, looking back at the previous module and crystallizing the learning out of that is really conducive to actually embedding it and understanding in kind of a concise way exactly what it was that you've learned and you've achieved and how to apply that. I think discounting is a really important concept that I got from a business case perspective, and I would prepare a lot of kind of tactical and strategic business cases. So discounting and being able to express the cost of something over a period of time in a way that finance understands and can then, you know, offset and prioritize against other investment approaches. So relevant costing, those kind of things are really, really important. And I suppose as a result of all of that, I've taken on, and I was probably headed this way anyway, but I've taken on with much more confidence that ability to create those strategic initiatives and to have proper conversations with finance where we're talking about the same thing. I can look at things slightly differently because they're not looking at technology and alternatives, but presented to them in a way then that can be used to prioritize appropriately. So I think that's really important. I think there's a few developments in technology in particular in my own field that are going to be difficult to translate into reality on the ground. So traditionally we'd have completed capital purchases. So we'd have bought a mainframe or bought a server or bought a solution, and we're moving away from that. But we're still carrying the likes of depreciation within our budgets. We still have that mindset of what's the asset that I own. Being able to speak about moving away from those physical assets, let's say, to subscription services, to licensing, to cloud services, all those kind of things, which are absolutely ballooning. And over the last 2 years, through COVID and through working from home and things like that, those things have really kind of exploded. being able to get that from a technology perspective and then talk to the finance guys in an appropriate language is absolutely critical, I think, right, for any organization. So I think really important thing to mention is this isn't an accountancy course. This isn't for accountants. This is for kind of non-accountancy people who want to understand how they work and be able to feed back to them and discuss things with them in appropriate language. As I said, it's had a very positive impact. I'm not scared of spreadsheets now, and I'm not scared of the challenges that come back from finance. I can look at them, I can have a conversation with them, I can challenge them a little bit more confidently and more knowledgeably. And equally, I can look at things, and one of the things Cormac didn't mention is every morning on the course, we would look at the markets, we'd look at the stockbroker reports and valuations and shareholdings and things like that. So if you're interested in investing, if you have a few quid that you want to buy shares in, there's very useful learnings here as well in terms of how to understand the risks that you're maybe taking on and what kind of return you should get from that. The other thing I think that's important, you're learning with peers and you're learning with professionals in different environments. You're sharing knowledge, building up networks, building relationships, understanding the challenges that we all face and being able to apply those apply the learnings collectively and have a talk about those things. And that is huge. So as I said, a big fan of the IMI. I did enjoy the course very much.